You thought flying solo was the easy option. No messy group chats, no seat negotiations, no compromises. Just click, book, done. Until your checkout total pops up, and there it is, an extra $19. Not for a bag, not for Wi-Fi, not even for choosing your seat. It's a brand new charge for flying alone. Welcome to the summer of 2025, where airlines are slipping in surprise fees faster than you can say window or aisle. Delta calls it a solo flyer efficiency fee. Translation? You're being charged for not having travel buddies. As if that wasn't enough, it's just the first of many changes catching travelers off guard. In the next few minutes, I'll walk you through the rule changes no one warned you about, how they work, who they hit hardest, and what you need to know before your next boarding pass turns into a bill. So here's what happened. In early summer 2025, some Delta passengers noticed something strange while booking flights. A one-way fare from Minneapolis to Miami showed up as $199 when booking for just one person, but dropped to $108 per passenger when booking for two. No promo, no notification, just a silent price shift based entirely on whether or not you were flying solo. Thrifty Traveler was the first to report the fare discrepancy, noting that Delta was charging significantly more for solo bookings compared to two-passenger itineraries. On certain routes and fare classes, like Basic Economy or Main Cabin, Delta had quietly applied pricing rules tied to accompanied travel. In simple terms, you paid more unless you booked with someone else. It wasn't listed as a fee, it didn't show up in the receipt, but for solo flyers, it functioned like a hidden price penalty. The backlash came quickly. Frequent flyers called it out. Solo travelers, especially seniors and business passengers, were not amused. And just days later, the pricing rule disappeared from the system. Delta made no public comment, according to reports. No announcement, no explanation, just quietly reversed. But here's what's important. Delta wasn't the only one. United and American have also implemented similar pricing strategies, charging more for solo travelers on certain routes. So while this version may have been pulled, the broader trend isn't going away anytime soon. So if you usually book for one, keep an eye out, because in 2025, the cost for flying solo might be more than just an empty seat beside you. Quick question: are you a solo traveler, or do you usually fly with someone else? Drop it in the comments. I'm genuinely curious how many people would have paid this quiet little price penalty for independence. Southwest used to be the airline rebel. No change fees, 2 free checked bags, no seat assignments, just show up, grab a spot, and go. It felt refreshingly simple, like flying without the corporate nonsense. But in 2025, that version of Southwest doesn't exist anymore. This summer, the airline made 2 quiet but massive moves that feel like a breakup text after years of loyalty. First, checked bag fees. Yes, the same airline that once built its brand on bags fly free has changed course. As of 2025, Southwest now charges $35 for your first checked bag and $45 for the second, regardless of destination. Only a few fare classes and loyalty tiers, like A-List Preferred and Business Select, still qualify for free baggage. For everyone else, it's a new line on the bill. Second, assigned seating is on the way. Southwest still uses open seating for now, but that's about to change. Soon, you'll be able to pick a seat in advance for a price. No more refreshing your app at the 24-hour mark. No more politely negotiating with a stranger to swap for the aisle. Now, you're row 25, seat B, take it or leave it. Southwest says these changes are based on passenger feedback. But let's be real, it's also based on pressure from investors. When every other airline is monetizing luggage and legroom, staying free and friendly starts to look like lost revenue. So, are you flying Southwest this summer? If you are, don't assume the old rules still apply. Double-check your fare. Look closely at the baggage allowance. And if you care where you sit, get ready to either pay up or cross your fingers at the gate. 2025 might just be the year Southwest officially stopped being different. And for a lot of longtime fans, it feels like the end of an era. Picture this. You're gliding through security, laptop zipped, liquids untouched, shoes still on. No juggling, no unpacking, no TSA bin Jenga. Feels almost too smooth, right? That's because it kind of is. In 2025, more US airports are rolling out high-tech CT scanners backed by AI and 3D imaging technology. On paper, it sounds amazing. 3D imaging, machine learning, faster lines. The machines scan everything while you barely have to lift a finger. But here's what they don't put on the welcome screen. AI doesn't miss much. And it's not in the business of letting things slide. That lotion bottle you've flown with 10 times before? Flagged. The snack bar buried in your backpack? Suspicious. One passenger even got pulled for extra screening because the soles of their shoes were too thick. No metal, no threat, just foam that made the algorithm nervous. And while the tech is impressive, what really matters is how much stricter everything feels. Things that used to get a free pass are now setting off alerts. The smarter the scanner, the sharper the filter, and that means more surprise holdups. Even trickier? It's not everywhere, yet. One terminal might wave you through in minutes. Another still wants your laptop, your liquids, and your dignity in a tray. So yes, you pack the same. But your airport? That's a coin toss. Faster? Technically, yes. But in 2025, getting through security isn't the win. It's passing the AI's invisible pop quiz on every zip, click, and granola bar you bring. Remember when a power bank was your in-flight lifesaver? Quietly sitting in your bag, ready to rescue your phone when the seat USB port bailed. Again? Well, in 2025, it's under surveillance. After a mid-air fire caused by a portable charger on a flight in South Korea earlier this year, airlines have started cracking down. Hard. Some Asian carriers now ban in-flight use of power banks altogether. Others only allow them if they're stored in your personal item under the seat. Overhead bin, strictly off limits. In the US, Southwest was the first major airline to follow suit. As of May 2025, you're not allowed to use your power bank during the flight if it's stashed overhead. Want to charge your phone? Fine. Just make sure your device stays in sight and within reach. That means on your tray table, in the seat back pocket, or in your hand. If the flight attendant can't see it, you may be asked to unplug it, or worse, pack it away. Why so strict? Because if a battery starts overheating mid-flight, seconds matter. Cabin crew need to spot it instantly and respond before it becomes a full-blown emergency. And before you say, "Mine's a name brand, I'm sure it's fine," think again. Even Anchor, one of the most trusted names in the game, just issued a massive recall on its PowerCore 1000, model A1263. The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission reported over 1.1 million units affected, with risks of internal overheating and fire. These were sold all over the US for years, meaning plenty of travelers could be carrying a ticking lithium time bomb without realizing it. So if your backup charger is a few years old, might be time for a check. To stay safe and on board, here's the new golden rule. Keep your power bank in your personal item. Never check it, never toss it in the overhead, and skip the cheap, no-name chargers altogether. When even the good brands can catch fire, the knockoffs aren't worth the gamble. Most importantly, check your airline's current battery policy before you fly. These rules are changing fast, and finding out you broke one while already buckled in, that's the worst kind of surprise. You've booked your return from Paris. Same airline, same flight you've taken for years. You show up at the airport, bags packed, boarding pass ready, and then it's gone. Not delayed, not rescheduled, just gone. That's exactly what happened to Tom, a retired teacher from Seattle, flying home after visiting his grandkids in Lyon. The nonstop route he relied on canceled without a whisper. No alert, no email, just a last-minute reroute through Frankfurt, an overnight layover, and a 13-hour delay. And because the airline technically got him home, no compensation, just a shrug and a hotel voucher. In 2025, this is becoming disturbingly common. U.S. airlines are cutting back flights under the radar from smaller cities in Europe and Canada: Edinburgh, Manchester, Halifax, Lyon. The reasons? Rising fuel costs, pilot shortages, and overcrowded gates at American airports. So they trim the low-profit routes, silently, strategically, and without warning. But what they don't trim? The prices. In fact, fares from these cities are going up. With fewer flights, there's less competition and less chance you'll get that easy, non-stop option. And just to twist the knife a little more, Your nonstop flight might still appear perfectly normal in your itinerary until just a few weeks before departure, when it gets quietly converted into a 2 or 3 leg marathon you never signed up for. So what can you do? Don't wait for the airline to tell you. Use a flight tracking app like FlightAware or App in the Air. They can alert you early if your route gets dropped, merged, or reshuffled behind the scenes. And always book direct with the airline when you can. It makes rebooking way less painful if things change, because in 2025, your nonstop flight might vanish overnight, and you don't want to be the last one to find out. You've got a US passport. You've flown to London before. Maybe you're just transiting through Heathrow on your way to Rome. Either way, you're thinking, no visa, no problem. Not anymore. Starting January 8th, 2025, the UK is launching a new system called ETA, short for Electronic Travel Authorization. And yes, it applies to American citizens. This isn't a visa, no consulate visits, no interviews, but you do need to apply online at least 72 hours before your flight. No ETA, no boarding pass. The cost? About roughly $13. It's valid for 2 years once approved, and in most cases, the process takes just a few minutes. But here's where travelers get tripped up. You need it even if you're just transiting, even if you don't plan to leave the airport. If your flight touches UK soil and you don't have an ETA, the airline is legally required to deny you boarding. No exceptions. No, but I didn't know. And while approvals are usually quick, delays and denials do happen. So if you wait until the night before your trip to apply, you could be grounded before you even make it to check in. This new system is basically the UK's version of ESTA, the travel authorization the US already requires for Europeans. Fair? Maybe, but it's still catching a lot of Americans off guard. So planning a trip to the UK, or even just a layover there, treat the ETA like your boarding pass. No paperwork, no plane. You've been loyal, swiped the card, booked the flights, stayed in the same hotels, collected points like they were retirement savings. And for what? Well, in 2025, that loyalty might buy you a middle seat and a granola bar. Let's start with American Airlines and Hyatt. For years, they had a sweet partnership: fly with American, stay with Hyatt, and earn elite perks on both ends. But starting January 2025, that cozy relationship is over. No more shared points. No more fly to earn nights, stay to earn status. Just 2 separate programs, each now asking for more spending and giving you less in return. Want a Hyatt reward night through American now? You'll need to rack up something like 150,000 loyalty points. That's not loyalty, that's a second mortgage. Delta's no better. As of February 2025, Amex Platinum card holders are limited to 10 visits to the Sky Club per year, unless you spend over $75,000 annually. Got a Delta Reserve card? You get 15 visits. After that, you're back to the terminal food court with the rest of us. And even if you do get in, some lounges now only allow guests if they're flying on the same reservation. Others won't let you in more than 3 hours before your flight. That arrive early, relax with a drink vibe? It's now more like arrive exactly on time and don't bring a friend. United's not sitting out either. Word is, later this year, they're rolling out a hefty price hike on lounge memberships, up to $750 a year or 94,000 miles. And even then, your access might still be limited if you're not on the highest tier plan. And here's the worst part. These changes usually come with zero notice. One day you're in, the next, you're staring at a locked lounge door with 300,000 miles and no one picking up customer service. So, if you've been playing the loyalty game, maybe it's time to revisit the rules. Track the changes. Don't assume that shiny card in your wallet still opens the same doors, because in 2025, loyalty points might still sparkle, but they don't stretch like they used to. Picture this. Your flight's delayed 4 hours. Your checked bag vanishes. That extra legroom seat you paid for somehow didn't make it onto the plane. In the past, you'd email customer service, wait, maybe call, wait longer, argue with a chatbot, then give up. But now, the rules have changed, and they're finally on your side. As of late 2024, the U.S. Department of Transportation rolled out new federal protections that airlines must follow. No more hoping they'll do the right thing. Now it's the law. Here's what that means. If your domestic flight is delayed more than 3 hours or 6 hours for international, you're entitled to a full refund. Not credit, not a voucher, actual money. Paid for Wi-Fi, extra legroom, or upgraded seats and didn't get them? That's also refundable. Baggage late? That counts too. And if you're involuntarily bumped from a flight, the airline now owes you up to $2,150 in cash depending on how long you're delayed. Again, real money, not a coupon with blackout dates. There's more. Airlines now have to offer 24/7 customer support with real humans. They must provide food and water if you're stuck on the tarmac for more than 2 hours. And if it goes past 3, you have the right to deplane, unless safety absolutely forbids it. Damaged luggage? Covered. Lost or broken mobility devices? No compensation cap at all. The best part? You don't even have to chase it anymore. The DOT now requires airlines to process refunds automatically within 7 days if you paid by card, or 20 if you used another method. So yeah, 2025 has brought some frustrating changes to flying, but knowing your rights, that's power. If this video helped you dodge a hidden fee, spot a new rule, or just made you rethink that power bank in your backpack, hit the like button, share it with your favorite travel buddy, and subscribe for more flight intel that actually keeps you ahead. Thanks for flying smarter with me. See you in the next video.